Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got another Saturday delivery, eh, Mika? Should we show them? It's over there. We have a couple more parts to throw on here, but first, what are we going to install? Well, you already know because that's the name of the video, but let's go ahead and get to opening one of these boxes. I think the first one we're going to have to open up is this one. So if we're looking in here, we can just see what we got, which are the side skirts. We're getting a 3.5 side skirts in. And as you can see, as I had mentioned, more double-sided sticky tape. Must have gotten warm in here, because wow. Yes, of course, you need to be careful. We'll pop these out, get them unwrapped, and take a look at these beauties. Just a super quick look at it. As you can see, unbox them, checked for damage really quickly before we install them. And that's what you should do. And then the next thing to do is jack up the car. So, if you've ever jacked a car up before, then you know right under this pinch seam right here where your door is, you'll be able to find where the jack puck goes. Jack puck looks like this. You find the hole, you turn it sideways, and it locks in. I'll be able to show you better afterwards. Now let's show you for the rear. The rear is pretty simple. Right here, you kind of see where it kind of starts to curve. You put your hand right here. It's literally right in line with this. All you do is reach down here, put in the jack puck. Turn it sideways. Now that we've done that, we can use Mika's head spot right here, and we can lift it. Hey, I'm sorry, I gotta use it. If you've ever seen me jack this car up before, then you know what I have to do. I have to use a motorcycle jack to lift the car just a tiny bit so I can fit my jack underneath it. So again, how I do that, I just slide this underneath. I put it so it's pretty well centered on that jack puck. From there, I just take this, good enough for right now. Now, I'll come up to that pinch seam over here, and what we're gonna do is stick the jack under here and lift the car the rest of the way. Again, always check your clearances so you don't wreck anything. Now off that one jack point, you're gonna see over there, and let's see if I can move you over with the joystick. You're gonna see over there, look at that. We have enough room on both sides. If you want to, go ahead and throw a jack stand, and I'll show you the two spots where you're gonna do it. When you're under the car, you'll see that big brace there. See how this is the center of it? Try and get your jack stand as close as you can to the center, and then bring this in here, and we'll put it right there. Now that we have that there, we can actually lower the car and it'll come down. What you could also do is go over to that side and try and put it in. It might not be high enough because the back end's just gonna be a tiny bit lower. It's always fun to show this part, just slow. Let it come down, watch what it does, monitor it, and you'll see it's going to even out. Now that we've seen the car even out and it's balanced, we can go ahead and take a look at the back there, and we're going to jack the back up, do the exact same thing, and put a jack stand in the center brace, which you'll see back there. For the back one, I just put it on my motorcycle jack. As you can see, it's going to give us more than enough room actually on both sides to probably do what we need to. And if not, all you do is you move the motorcycle jack from this side to the other side. And you can go ahead and just lift the other side just a tiny bit like I've done here. And it allows you to do that. Now, again, if you don't have a motorcycle jack, what you can do is put that jack stand on the front, use your other jack, lift this up, and you could try and put, as long as you have a flat style jack stand, you could put it on here. Just make sure it's sitting on there good. Or if you look back there, let's see if I can show you. There's another metal cross brace. You can right there. Let's see if it'll focus. Probably not. Right there. Aha. That honeycomb piece of metal, that's where you'd throw another jack stand. I'm not going to bother because don't really need to in this scenario. But like I said, we've got it here. The other thing you could do is just jack up the front of the car and then see if you can do it without having to do the rest of it. So let's go ahead and we got to drill out these pop rivets. So if you have a Grandsport, you're already going to have something installed here. All right, so you can see these pop rivets up here if you have a Grandsport. I'm going to try and move this light just a little bit so you can see them. So see this one right here? See how I have a drill bit that just fits on the inside? Like literally just glides in there. You need to drill. And see how it just went in? That's what you need to do with all these little pop rivets. Just take it and just like that. So the next fun part after you drill those out is you stick in a pick if you can, and you need to wiggle it. Now I like to stick a pick in like this, move this, and I just get a flat blade in here and I start to just pull it out a little bit. And then I finish it off with a proper panel popping tool, or some people will call it a tea popper, a Christmas tree popper. But just take something like this and we'll see if we can get it in here. And yeah, you just can wiggle this around and turn off your light apparently. And you just wiggle it until that rivet comes out. Try to keep it in one piece. It's gonna try and fight you, I guarantee. But if it doesn't, then that happens. And we can mess with that afterwards. But first and foremost, go ahead and get all these rivets off. You've gotten every single one of them out on the sides. Like I said, you'll see these bottom ones right here. Go ahead, drill these out, and then pop them out. I already got the one out in the front. I'm gonna pop this one out. After we get this one out, we'll go take out the 7mm that's up front. This also applies for the people with Stingrays, as there is an existing 7mm up front that you need to remove. I just have that one laying down on the ground, and let's show you where that 7mm is. So if we come down here, it is right in here. So go ahead, pop out that 7mm right here, and then this old side skirt will be free. And if you don't have old side skirts, then, well, then you're at this point. From here, you're gonna go ahead and clean this all up. Now, with the stems that are sticking out, you can cut them as close as you can to the body and then just push them in, or you can try and wiggle them out, but good luck. A lot of them are just not gonna come out, and if you wanna take the time, what you can do is try and get in under these plastic covers and get in here, but it's going to be very tricky. It's like a little tunnel in there. So it's almost impossible for you to get those rivets out. If you want to, go ahead, try. It's just going to be a little bit of fun for you. What I usually do, like I said, is if I try to pull the stem as much out as I can, and then I grab a pair of these guys, and I just go as close as I can to the body with it, and then I cut it off, and then I sink it in. Completely up to you. From this point, grab some cloths, get out some soap and some water, and clean up that area. We need a nice, smooth surface. Some people will use certain kinds of alcohol. Just make sure you watch out, because if you do, you don't want to lift your paint by accident. As you can see, we've laid it out and it looks fresh. What you're going to want to do is we're going to want to lay a nice bead of the tape right along here. I'd try and get it right along that edge kind of, or just up from the edge. I'll leave it up to you. And by the way, you don't have to run it the whole way. We're gonna have some screws in here. So what I would suggest that you actually do, again, this is completely up to you, with the Grandsport, you technically don't need the tape. The reason why, you already have your first holes lined up. You don't have to worry about that. You already know where these screws are gonna go into the rivets. If you have the Stingray, what I would suggest you do is use the tape just for lining it up. It's not gonna be structural. It really won't. If you felt the rivets and the screws and stuff, if it's gonna break away from the screws, that tape isn't gonna do anything. So what I would suggest that you do, this is gonna be your front lineup holes. It's as simple as that. You're gonna put your first screw in here. The next thing you're gonna do is put a big line of double-sided sticky right up to here. And then what you're gonna do is line up that front piece first, like we had it hanging down low before. Put the first screw in, which is at 7 mil down here. And then on the back half, you'll have the double-sided sticky tape. So if you're doing this alone, you can actually stick it up there and have it holding it. Now, what you could also do, as Mika will direct us, you could actually bring that a little farther up so that way you know for sure it's gonna hold this. And the first screws I would actually self-tap in are those back, one of the back two. So that way it's gonna hold it nice and tight up to the body, and then you can go ahead and put your next drill holes in, so that way your self-tappers can go in. And that way you know it's lined up, right? I hope this shows you what I'm talking about. As you can see, I've just got a little bit of tape there, and all that's gonna serve is to stick the back end. If you want, I might even do that, add one more piece right here. And again, that's just gonna hold it while you make sure it's lined up, it looks good, and before you start drilling. And again, I would just tighten up that first screw right off the bat. So, let's get that first part started. We need our 7 mil bolt, and we need a wrench right here. All we wanna do is watch the back end, but lift this up. And we're gonna just get this screw started. Don't go tightening it too far down yet. All right. So, got that in. Go ahead, press really good, and then check your line. Like I said, you can see I've got some dust prints on here. But like I said, just back up, take a look at your lines. We can see that one's a little tiny bit off, but I think if we come up here, that one's a little bit off up there too, which is fine. As long as it looks good when we back up. And it does. That's exactly how it should look. I don't see any big gaps. The only thing we have to do is make sure it's sitting in the crease. Now that we've got that, I would get a very tiny pre-drill bit, and what I would do is right along here, I would pre-drill the center first and the back first. So put one in the center and put one in the back. After you do the center one, tighten up the front and then put one in the back. I'm gonna show you when I pre-drill. What you do is, just like I said, a very tiny, small pre-drill bit. Go into the hole, make sure you're in the center of it, and then just in a little bit, just like that. After you've done that, you don't have to be plowing it in there, right? Then you make sure you have a really good Phillips bit. Go in here. Just like that. You don't need to go cranking her in there. You'll totally strip out the plastic. Go nice and slow so it doesn't heat up. And then that's how you do it. And again, make sure you just go all along it. For me now, I've got it all tagged on, so I can just go on to the next one. I can drill. Just like that. And grab the next screw. And go on and tag it. And like I said, that's all you're doing. Hey, if you're curious about the Grandsport holes and all that other fun stuff, no, they do not line up with the factory rivet holes. They must have done it on purpose, but what they did is they offset them so that way you use the self-tappers. I can't wait to put it on the ground and take a better look at it, but those look absolutely sick. So let's show you this side, as you can see, and let's go to the other side. And again, this is the 3.5 splitter. So if you're wondering what that looks like, that's what it looks like. And there is the factory skirt. As you can see, this one ends just a little bit earlier, where the other one goes the full length and then goes to the back. So again, if you're trying to shop and figure out which ones you want, that one right there is the Grandsport side skirt. And then the one over here is once again the 3.5 side skirt. It just goes a tiny bit farther down the body. I do like it. I think it looks awesome. I think it adds a little bit more contrast. With me, the problem was well, everything's body color, which I don't have a problem with. I think it looks clean for having the vents up here and that body color, but that little tinge of black right there, and now with the black piece right here, I think that looks great. Now you can get certain parts in carbon if you want to, but one thing I'll tell you is it's easier to fill carbon flash. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, but it's gonna literally go the exact same way. So you don't really need to stick around and watch that. So I'm gonna just fast forward to putting the car on the ground, and then you can see it on the ground, and that's it. Just a quick reminder to put your motorcycle jack or whatever you're using in the back there before you drop your jack all the way, because last thing you want to do is wreck your brand new 3.5 side skirt. And after you're done, you can go ahead and bring this one down. Well, there's a look at the other side. I gotta say, I absolutely love the look of the 3.5 kit so far. And it has me really excited to finish the kit off. I've got the pieces, I just gotta put them together. What I will do is post a link in the description below. Go ahead, take a look, and tell me what you think. Either way, the last piece, what did he do? A wing? Or did he do the giant winglets? We'll have to see.